thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hot the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed with living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the word of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world at what he does. Tap in. What up, people?
I said, what up, people? Edition.
Welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yeah, man. How's everyone doing out there? Hopefully y'all are doing great, because I am doing fabulous. I don't know if that's pause worthy or not, but I will commence. Blue collar heroes to the weirdos and the masses. Yes. I'm back for another week. I'm back for another episode. I'm back for another foray to give you what you desperately needed, to give you what you desperately deserved. And what you desperately deserved was more me on your screen, was more me in your ear hole. I don't know if that was pause worthy either, but I will commence again. Yeah. This week is going to be very, 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 very different from recent episodes, because I'm not going to be talking about sports whatsoever. And I will not be talking about wrestling, even though there's a lot of things on my mind concerning what we saw, what we witnessed, what we heard this past Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday night with the People's Champion, The Rock. And all, but I'll probably save that either for next week's episode, or maybe, just maybe, I will bless the masses with another edition of my world-renowned, hardly ever listened to Sprinkler Salt series, audio only, on the podcasting airwaves, which there are multiple of. This week, I'm going to get into something that I haven't touched in a while, haven't touched in a couple months, and that would be the going-ons, the happenings here in the city of Gotham, in the city that never sleeps, New York effing City. I'll get into this controversy that we have concerning what they're calling congestion pricing, which I'm going to have to parse my words a little bit, because I have to deal with self-preservation, because the entity that I'll be talking about hits a little bit close to home. Those who know. Those who don't, please don't try to find out. But yeah, so they had a couple of hearings this past week that I want to get into, and just my thoughts on what's really going on in the city. On the mayor, the city council, the policies that are going on, that being the fact that I am the blue collar hero to the widows and the masses, I have to give my 2 cents on. I have to give my salty thoughts on. Then I will bring it home with my thoughts on the Netflix miniseries Griselda. Yeah, Griselda. It's a 6-part miniseries by the makers of Narcos and Narcos Mexico, detailing the rise and fall of the cocaine godmother, Griselda Blanco. Yeah, it's a quick watch. It took me a couple of days to watch it, because it's 6 episodes, so I did 2 episodes a day. And what you think it is, it's totally different than what you might believe it's going to be. If you're a fan of Goodfellas, if you're a fan of Casino, if you're a fan of Narcos to a certain degree, if you're a fan of The Godfather, all that type of genre, that's not what you're getting here. You're getting more of a, matter of fact, you know what? I will save my review for that segment. So before I get things up and running, I like to give shout outs to two particular people. One would be my my brother-in-law, Mr. Low Fat Beats. Mr. Low Fat Beats, Mr. Fat Ass Beats from the ATL. Yes, because we're kind of engaging in Madden 24 warfare. And if I didn't mention it before, I'll mention it now. He beat me down a couple weeks ago. I don't know if we did 2 or 3, but I know he made a point to put up a 50 spot. A 50 spot on yours truly, when I was still trying to get my bearings in the game that we love, or the game that we hate in some respects, Madden football for PS5. So he got me. And I've said before, and I'll reiterate myself, or I'll reiterate what I said before. He's probably the only individual walking the face of this earth currently that will whoop my ass in video games and will throw so much vitriol at my teams that I root for, such as the Jets, such as the amazing Mets, this t-shirt I'll get to in a very few minutes. Even he doesn't really go at my Knicks so much, that I would actually sit there and I'm like, you know what? You got it, bro. Maybe it's because he's an imposing figure. No, because I've been in the family damn near 30 years. Me and the missus just celebrated our 25th anniversary, meaning he's been my brother-in-law for 25 years. So the imposing figure means nothing to me. And of course, I'm saying this for like 600 miles away. But neither here nor there. I don't know. It's just something about him that, which guy he can F with me and throw shots at my most vulnerable point, and I just don't take it serious. I mean, I don't take it seriously. I don't take offense to it. So this last evening, matter of fact, last night, early this morning, I'm actually getting home, enjoying beginning my 2 days off from my shoot job, and I figured let me fire up the Madden, do a little franchise. And sure enough, about 15 minutes into my game, which I'm going back and forth with the Los Angeles Rams. It's my second season in the franchise, and sure enough, I hear, or should I say, I looked at it. That's my words. I mean, that's my sound. Got a notification. Low Fat 78 is sending you a game request. I said, oh. Challenge. And challenge we did. Now, we played 2 games. First game, he got me 13-7. Yeah, I think it was 13-7. And tell you the truth, I could have had him that game, but I just kept on inflicting self-inflicted wounds upon myself, such as my JET at Jets in real life, and couldn't pull out the victory. Then I said, you know what? All right, we're going to run it back. And I said, I'm not going to pick another team. I'm going to run it back with my team. I'm going to run it back with my Jets. And because, first of all, in the game, they do have a stout defense. Usually the problem with without matchups in the past is because he picks Atlanta, I pick the Jets. Especially in the recent past, our defense hasn't been up to par. So, and plus I didn't really have the firepower. So pretty much I'm fighting a gunfight with a knife. This season, my defense is up to par. My offense is real iffy. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do a Paul Heyman special. Accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. The positives on offense, I have Breece Hall. I have Aaron Rodgers. I have Garrett Wilson. And I have a big body wide receiver in Alan Lazard, who can't catch worth a damn, but he can block and he can take a hit. I have a effed up offensive line, so I have no time whatsoever. And Mr. Low Fat Beats wants to blitz me half the fucking time. First F-bomb. So I said, you know what? Okay. Can't be too predictable. And I'm not going to give my game plan away because I'm quite sure by the time we meet again, he will have a good read on what I've been doing. But I said, you know what? I'm going to run the ball. I'm going to run the ball again. I'm going to run the ball again. Guess what? I'm going to run the ball again. I'm going to run the ball again. And if he stops me, he stops me. But I'm not going to have any inflicted wounds because my defense, I realized in the last 2 games, my defense can ball out. I have no confidence in his quarterback whatsoever. All I have to do is get a read on his running game, on his option game, and I can keep this within a score and a half. So, of course, not only did my defense come to play, my defense had a tune of 5, or should I say 6? I don't know, it was 5 or 6 turnovers. I think I intercepted them on 3 consecutive drives to rush out to a 12-zip lead. He got a bomb with 5 seconds remaining in the half because I was getting a little greedy, and he intercepted me in the end zone. Well, near the end zone. And he got a bomb at the end of the first half to close the gap to 12-7. Needless to say, I say, you know what? That won't happen again. So what I did was, once again, accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. Run, 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 run. Pass only when needed, and run again. And play stout defense. And because I am a man of principle, I am a man of honor, I didn't rush out on the Facebook streets to put a screenshot of my victory. I will do this here on the YouTube streets. Yeah, what does that say? New York Jets, 42. Atlanta Falcons, 14. Yeah, man. Breece Hall, 32 carries for 182 yards. I think I might have had 3. Maybe shoot. I passed for 60%. So let's say I probably passed 5 times, 3 receptions. That's about 60%, right? Yeah. Wasn't playing no games. So more likely when I finish this recording, I'll probably be getting the text. Yo, bro, you ready? Because he was like, you want to run it back? No, I do not. Now, I'm not running from anything. I just proved that I can win. I can win. It's like, no. It was 3:00 in the morning. I hadn't ate yet. I'll tell you the truth, my stuff was in the oven, so it was kind of crispy, but it was edible. And I said, you know what? I'm going to leave this with a victory, and we will pick up and we will resume on the later date, probably today. So, Mr. Little Fat Beats, coming for your ass. Pause. That's a pause-worthy thing. Now, my second shout out actually, coincidentally, has something to do with this shirt. I fashioned this as my Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach outfit. And that's no shade whatsoever because he knows I love him. No pause. That's my bro. The reason I say this is because it's spring season, it's spring training. Or as Bismarck he would say, it's spring again. Everybody knows it's spring again. To the love in heaven above. This is the time to fall in love. Yeah, spring training. And if anybody loves spring training as much as Smitty in the group home in Bergen Beach, you need to point him out to me. Me, I can give a lesson about spring training. Let me know when the All-Star break comes. But as I was sifting through my archive of shirts, my wardrobe, duh, I was wondering, what can I put on this week? And just in general, do I want to waste something that I have specific plans for? Being the fact I wouldn't say this is a throwaway episode. No, it's not a throwaway episode because anytime I grace y'all with my presence, it's never a throwaway. But like I said, it's not sports related, it's not wrestling related, so therefore there's no message in the shirt. Then I went into my dress and I was like, oh darn, I've been looking at this shirt for a while. I haven't worn this shirt in years. Hence by the font. Hence by maybe the faded color. Hence by, to tell you the truth, like this is a St. Patrick's Day edition shirt. If I turned around, you'll see it's number 5, David Wright. All my shirts are David Wright. All my Mets jerseys are David Wright. Actually, I have 2 Mets shirts for Jacob deGrom, and as soon as I got that, guess what? To Texas he went. But the reason I bring this shirt up, the reason I bring Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach up, well, actually, I brought him up because I'm wearing the shirt. But there's a big controversy going on in Major League Baseball because they have changed who actually prepares, who actually makes their uniforms. And I'm so glad I've peeped this because kind of just made myself say, you know what? I'm good. I don't want no shirts or no jerseys, as they say. I don't want no new jerseys. Keep my hat. I'm good. They said there was a controversy that the pants, the uniform pants, are made of lesser quality, somewhat see-through, and there was a somewhat graphic picture of some player, I believe, on the San Francisco Giants that you can actually see his junk because that's how flimsy the material was. Not only that, the jerseys. The one thing about the jerseys in the past, and for as long as I can remember, Majestic always made the jerseys and the shirtsies. Yeah, Majestic. And even if you got a replica jersey, it was always good quality. It was always stitched. You had the name bar in the back was stitched, sometimes embroidered. It was good quality. Like I have a 2013 David Wright alternate home jersey from with the All-Star patch when the All-Star game emanated from Citi Field. Beautiful. Okay, do I have the 5 in the front to match the 5 in the back? No, but it's good quality. Look, I'm not the type to spend $300 on the jersey. Give me a nice replica, not a cheap looking replica, and I'm good. I'm good because how many times am I really going to wear it? Right? So these, I wish I would have took a picture of it, but these new jerseys are so low in quality. You can see they have the heat iron-on patches. There's no more stitching. There's no more embroidery. And with Smitty from the group home, and hopefully I'm not speaking out of school, what he does is, like, matter of fact, I'm going to say what he does, what he did. He was looking for this one particular jersey. He could not find it to his liking. It was the Gray Road jersey. And of course, by nowadays, they're not even selling the Gray Road jersey with David Wright. David Wright is one of his favorite players. So that's what we have in common. So last year we went to the game, first game that I actually went to that they won. We went into the shop. That's when Zhao got me my hat that you will see in the very near future as soon as I wear something that coordinates, because I'm all about coordination. And he found the gray jersey, but he couldn't find it with David Wright. But he said, you know what? No problem. He took it to the jersey guy. His jersey guy stitched it up. Guess what? He got a David Wright jersey for the price of a regular jersey. And it looks magnifique. So with that being in mind, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna be on my Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach ish. And I'm gonna break out my vintage St. Patrick's Day apparel by the New York Mets. You can even tell this is a little dated because look at the shadow. The shadow had, it's just, listen. In fact, look at the M. Yeah. Anyway, I'm so vain. I'm so vain. Anyway, so so that's what's going to be on deck this week. We're going to talk about New York City politics / New York City congestion pricing controversy, and then we will get into a Netflix Griselda recap by yours truly. That's it. I was going to touch on the Diddy allegations. Not even so much the Diddy allegations, but the controversy that's been going on social media concerning one Meek Mill defending allegations that Diddy told him to take that. Defending allegations that Diddy made sure he pushed Meek Mill shit in. Then I was like, you know what? I feel like talking about that. There's no reason to talk about that. He knows what he did. And if that's what floats his boat, that's what floats his boat. To each his own. But the one thing I will say, matter of fact, I won't say it because I might be accused of victim blaming. And that's not something that I want to be accused of. Matter of fact, but I will say this. It's not so much victim blaming because I'm not going to get into specifics. But and this could be accused of having toxic masculinity. Another one of those buzzwords. You can't tell me as a man that one dude, as powerful as we may be, that one dude is going to force you to go against all your morals, everything that you believe in for the mighty buck, for the fame and the fortune. Did he put a gun to your fucking head? Did he Admiral Lima you with a 38 snub nose or 38 long? I don't know. Remember, there was a drink champs during pandemic era, during the pandemic era, even though to me we're still in the pandemic, regardless. That I think the guests were Jadakiss and Fabulous, and they were promoting Nightmare on Elm Street, pretty much the Freddy versus Jason, F versus J project that they came out with, right? And they was down in Miami, or they were down in Florida. I guess they were down in Miami. And Diddy came through because I think still Drink Champs was part of Revolt. And Diddy came through, and Jada, you could tell Jadakiss already knew what time it was. And Diddy knew what the time was with Jada, like, so he wasn't fucking with Jada. He went to Fabulous. He was like, yo, Fab. Yo, how you down here? You don't let me know you down here, Fab. Yo, Fab. Yo, when we gonna party? Yo, Fab, yo, you don't want to go and party? We don't want to party? You don't want to party, Fab? And Fab you can tell Fab is feeling a little uncomfortable. Jada looking like, yeah, Fab, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Like, yo, stand your ground. You know he's not coming to me with the bullshit. And you could tell Diddy was on one. He was on some ecstasy. He was on one. He was like, yo, Fab, yo, like, yo, you gotta come back down so we could party, Fab. You fast forward 3-4 years later, I think it was middle of last year, there was a track with Young Miami, Diddy, and Fabulous. Act bad, act bad, act bad, act bad. Wasn't one of my Diddies, one of my tunes, but I guess Fab, after whatever he's dealt with over the last couple of years, that kind of taken him off the map. Those who know. Those who don't, Google it. I guess Diddy as Fab to act bad, act bad, act bad, act bad. Take that. Yeah, you know I had to add some jokes. So with all that being said, I'm gonna get this show on the road. Without further ado, good night. And goodbye. New York City congestion pricing. Congestion pricing. Now, it's ridiculous because, first of all, congestion pricing is the following. This is what congestion pricing is. Here's a breakdown, right? Here's a breakdown for what each vehicle will be charged, barring any last minute changes. Yeah, right. For the once a day toll, passenger vehicles will be charged $15 if they go into the congestion zone, which is pretty much any part of Manhattan below 60th Street. Small trucks will be charged $24. Large trucks, $36. Motorcycles, $7.50. Maybe I need to invest in a motorcycle. Taxi drivers will get charged $125 per fare per ride. Uber, Lyft, and other ride shares, $2.50 per ride. The rush hour rates will be in place from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the weekdays. Now, transit officials argue that it will unclog some of Manhattan's busiest streets and reduce pollution and ultimately improve public transportation infrastructure, which, yeah, okay. The plan will raise $1 billion, yes, not million, $1 billion per year, which would be used to fund $15 billion, that's right, with a B, $billion in bonds to pay for major upgrades to the subway, the commuter railroads, and the bus systems, the MTA says. Never mind about the fact that if you think about it, over the last, I want to say, conservative amount of time, the last 5 years, I'll even go back 10 years. Matter of fact, I'll say 10 years. Last 10 years, from the end of the Bloomberg administration to the clown show of the 8 years of the de Blasio, to now the Mayor Benton administration, Mr. GSD, get stuff done. The Department of Transportation has made the city just a bear to even be a car owner. They've transformed, and this is a stat that I have at the top of my head. It might be a little bit off, but to my last recollection, they've transformed 800 miles in the city of road for the car into lanes for the bikes, because they're so infatuated with the system that London, England, over in Europe, that they have in place, that we, being a factor, we're a metropolis, and we're, dare I say, the capital of the world. We have to have that in good old NYC. Do they realize that we have way more of a population than the city of London? That people from London come over here to have a good time. Yeah, we go over there sometimes, but they come over here to have a good time. But if you take away 800 miles of real estate for the cars, what do you think is going to happen? Congestion. They've taken what? They've made a 4-lane strip of road on Broadway in the city, I want to say in the 40s, in the 30s, to now 2 lanes. What do you think that's going to cause? It's going to cause congestion. They've made 23rd Street a main artery in the city. If you're coming from the FDR going west, let's say you're going from the FDR and going over to the West Side Highway, guess what? From, I believe, 2nd Avenue on to the West Side Highway, you cannot make a left turn. What does that cause? That causes congestion. 14th Street, another main artery in Manhattan. From, I want to say, from 7 to 7, there are no cars allowed on 14th Street. It's strictly a bus throughway. Okay, but if you cannot use another main artery of the city to commute your way for deliveries, for cabs, for ride shares, for leisure, then that backs up all the side streets. And what does that cause? That causes congestion. Never mind about the fact that as a car owner, New York, first of all, the city, first of all, is one of the highest insurance rates in the country. I live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Do you know Crown Heights, Brooklyn has the highest car insurance rate in the country? I drive a 2013 Nissan Sentra. As I've mentioned this before, it's not the most glamorous car, but it's the most efficient that I've ever had. I went from a Dodge Caravan, a Dodge Chrysler Voyager, which is a Dodge Caravan, to an Isuzu Trooper, to a Dodge Durango, to a Nissan Sentra. And this was supposed to be the year that I was going to try to invest in a new car to safely drive into my retirement. You know what what's holding me up on that? I'll tell you. Car insurance. Do you know how much in car insurance I pay for full coverage? And I know somebody like, well, why don't you just drop it down to liability? I live in New York effing City. You think it's wise for me to drop it down to liability when you got everybody with out-of-state plates, when you got everybody with temporary plates, when you got people with no plates whatsoever driving these streets? And I still, on occasion, have my lovely Mrs. Ooh riding shotgun with me. And even today, I had Main Event K riding shotgun because we went out and about in the city, which is something I'll actually get about now if I don't forget at the end of this program about our outing today in the city, which is interesting. And if she's up, which she shouldn't be, but if she's up, maybe she'll come and give you a couple words on her experience. But being the fact that I have precious cargo in my car at various times, I said, you know what? I might as well just keep full coverage. Because, like, why not? I cut to the chase. I pay $540 per month for car insurance. Does that make any sense? If I dropped it down to liability, I would probably pay about $4 and change. At this point, what's the point? Like, all right, I'm saving $100, but that $100, is that really worth my well-being? Is that worth my state of mind? That my what you call my peace of mind? No, it isn't. What's the savings? There's none. $540. The reason I get to that, and I'm not getting off the tangent because I know you're probably like, darn, you start talking about car insurance, we're talking about congestion pricing. Guess what? They go hand in hand. My car insurance is paying, I'm paying $5 and change for car insurance, right? Now you want to add $15 anytime I go below 60th Street in Manhattan. Let's say my job tells me I got to work in Manhattan. I want to drive. They're saying, all right, you want to drive? We're taxing you $15 because we need to recoup all this lost value, all this lost income. We need to plump up public transportation. Public transportation needs additional funding. You know why it needs additional funding? Because now motherfucker want to pay for public transportation. You get on the bus, people say they get on the bus, yo, fuck you, I'm getting the seat. People get on the train, fuck you, I'm jumping the turnstile. Fuck you, I'm going through the door. Or the very chosen few will actually go to the lonely person in the box, or the person now strolling your neighborhood station, and they'll be like, excuse me, can you let me through the door? Because why? Because I don't have no fear. But yet they come with something to eat, especially if you're in a shopping area. They come with loads and loads of bags. Or the famous one, so I heard, I forgot my wallet at home. Where you coming from? Home. So why don't you go and get your wallet? But that's that's 5 blocks. Because of all this money that public transportation is losing, you know who's being left holding the bag? That's right, the working man, the working stiff. That's right, the blue collar hero to the widows and the masses. Not only am I paying a fucking tax for driving my car, not only am I paying damn near $600 in car insurance, not only am I paying damn near $4.50, $5 a gallon in gas, not only am I having to worry about random ass people with their bikes just running the light and me not, and dressed in all black, and me not smashing their ass into my windshield, I'm also paying for the people that don't want to pay on public transportation, something that I don't use on a regular basis. Ain't that a bitch? Now, there is a thought of saying, well, why don't people just, bite their lip and just say, F it, I'll get on public transportation. Have you seen the headlines? Motherfuckers getting slashed. Matter of fact, conductors getting slashed. Station agents getting fucked up, punched. People getting shot. People get stomped out. Matter of fact, the stomping out. All right, I'm from the era of, yo, you bound to catch a scuffle in the train at least once in your life. Luckily, I haven't. But that's the era that I lived. I'm from. But it's becoming more and more and more regular basis, a regular occurrence that these things are happening. And yet, the only thing that they can think of is, well, we need to tax the drivers now. The ones that don't use public transportation to pay for public transportation. What part of the game is that? This city, as I said before, this town needs anima. Because the city's full of shit. I can't wait 4 years and counting before I make my exodus out this godforsaken city. Which I just realized I didn't speak to my grandchildren today. Damn. Because that's my destination. Wherever my grandchildren are, that's where the fuck me and their Gigi will be. Because it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth it anymore. The stench that you have. And look, I'm smell blind. So I know you're probably like, darn, isn't that kind of hypocritical? How you talk about stench and you can't smell a shit? Guess what? The smell of shit is constantly in the air. Sanitation is on a work slowdown. Have you ever noticed, or my city dwellers down here, have you noticed that the street sweeper comes by, but he just goes straight down the block to the point that nobody wants to move their car anymore because, like, well, I'm moving my car. They ain't coming through. Do you know we still got leaves, caked on leaves on the curb from October, November because the street sweeper just never came or just doesn't give a fuck? You have speed cameras. Like I was speaking to a coworker the other day. She says on the corner of her block, she has a stop sign. And twice in a week, there was an accident at the intersection because everybody wants to speed through the stop sign. So I was like, far from me to suggest this, but maybe, maybe y'all could complain and try to get an actual traffic light at that stop sign. You know what she said? She was like, yeah, that would be all right. But we tried and we tried and we tried. But they put a speed camera there. Because they figure, all right, well, the speed camera would deter people from speeding through the stop sign. No. The speed cameras there is like, all right, if you're speeding, then we can flash your picture and we can send you a $60, $70 ticket in the mail. But it's not really deterring any accidents. Hence, why we got 2 accidents on my street, on my block, in less than a week. Because the city is all about money. The city's all about money. I wonder why. I wonder where the excess funds are going. Probably talking about Griselda later. Is it maybe perhaps, if people wasn't getting $1,000 a month for food, matter of fact, I forgot exactly where I heard this from, but it made so much sense. You know what's so disconcerting? And yeah, this is going to be a small tangent. But once again, everything connects. What's so disconcerting about our migrant crisis here in the city? I know everybody needs a chance. Everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves a chance for freedom, right? Everybody deserves a chance for liberty. Libertad, libertad, libertad. I know I ain't shit. That's why. You see that? You see that which called Statue of Liberty? That Statue of Liberty. In my logo, not doing the torch. It has a shaker of salt, a salt shaker. But I digress. Maybe, what's so disconcerting is you're able to find funding to give incoming potential residents $1,000 a month for food. necessities. You're obligated to find them housing and shelter by law. You're obligated. Once they come to the city, you have to find a space for them. What about the homeless that's been here? You're playing in their face. All this is proven is the fact that, so you mean to tell me y'all had the money or y'all had the means to get money to get people off the street to actually make sure that there's no real homeless situation in the city. There, I say in the country, but we're being more city-centric right now. But because you're obligated by law to take in the desolate from out yonder, you found the way. But the actual citizens, the actual inhabitants of the city that have been struggling. Matter of fact, the actual inhabitants, the working class of the city that can't afford to fucking move, the have and the have-nots. You're playing it in the face. You're saying, yeah, we could have did it, but not for you. Not for you. That's some bullshit, right? Yeah, it's some bullshit. And this is who we have to blame. Put them up. Like her and this dude. Libertad. Don't he look like he trying to be on his Fidel Castro? But I digress. This mother effer right here. Mr. Lieber. Right? Like I said, I gotta parse my words when it comes to certain things. This is a quote during the congestion pricing hearing this past Thursday and Friday. You notice they gave 3 days for congestion pricing hearings. But this is the quote, and he said this to the media. It's time for all of you in the press to make it clear. This is state law, and we're just trying to implement this state law in an effective way. This hearing is not about whether or not we're going to do congestion pricing. It's about whether the proposed toll structure makes sense and how much to adjust it. In other words, this shit is going through. Matter of fact, it's already a given. So, of course, the question would be, then why the hell have y'all been upfront about what these hearings are really about? Now, to Mr. Benson, matter of fact, I'll get to him in a minute. But why not be transparent on what these hearings are really about? Like, he just showed his hand, like, look, I said what I said. Or what, the new vernacular. I'm standing on business about that. Y'all gonna pay this. It's how y'all gonna pay it. Are we going to tax this? Are we going to get you this way? Are we going to get you this way? Are we going to get you this way? Regardless, you're going to get got. Or, as the title of this episode is, you're going to take that. And you're going to like it. Matter of fact, to bring it around to what The Rock said this past week, you know what you're going to do, New York City citizens? Nothing. And like it. Now, to end on this congestion pricing BS, this is the rules of it. And certain matter of fact, just listen. New York City, $15 congestion pricing toll to drive south of 60th Street could begin as soon as mid-June. a lawyer for the MTA said this week. Transit officials predict that the toll could raise $1 billion per year, which would fund major upgrades to the MTA's subway, commuter railroads, and bus systems. This would be the nation's first congestion pricing fee system. I wonder why. Which has prompted multiple lawsuits, including from New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, the teachers union, and 18 of New York's lawmakers. Of 18 New York lawmakers. The Labor Coalition representing New York City, nearly 400,000 government workers, have also backed Governor Murphy's federal lawsuit. Mayor Adams and New York City Council Speaker Adrian Adams, no relation, refused to support the state's controversial congestion pricing proposal, Mayor Adams said. He believes the city should have had more power and control over the situation, which likely would have resulted in a different version. City Hall has been pushing the MTA to include exemptions from the toll for city employees and people driving to and from hospitals. Yeah, I swear, this is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. Like, I don't, you know what? I just remembered something that I really was going to forget. Good thing I have my trusty ass notes, aka some screenshots. I'll get into it in a few minutes, but later on. Now, some of the projects that are proposed to for these $15 billion to be spent on are the following: the 2nd Avenue subway extension, a 3-station, not 3-line, 3-station extension from the current terminal at 96th Street and 2nd Avenue to 125th Street in Lexington. New computerized signals, $3 billion is the estimated cost. Brooklyn's Fulton Street subway station on the A and C lines from High Street to Euclid Avenue. Manhattan's 6th Avenue subway, the B, the D, the F, the M lines from Broadway Lafayette to 4750th Rockefeller Center. A slew of station renovations and rehabs across the 5 boroughs, including elevators and ramps for the disabled. Estimated cost, $2 billion. In the Bronx, we got 167th Street on the B and the D, Kingsbridge on the number 4, Wakefield, 241st Street on the number 2, 3rd Avenue and 138th Street on the 6th, and Brook Avenue. Brook Avenue is a dump. So, yeah, shoot, that was part of, I was up there about 20 years ago. It was a dump then, it's probably a dump now. In Brooklyn, Hoyt and Skimhorn on the AC and G. Nostrand Avenue on the A and the C, which used to be my home station years ago when I lived right off Nostrand Ave, right off NA Rock. Jefferson Street on the L. The Roxers. 18th Avenue on the D, which is a shithole. Literal shithole. When I say pigeons just shit on that station on a constant basis, those who know, those who don't even Google it. Because guess what? You're not going to find that thing in public record. Just visit it. Neptune Avenue on the F, which is another shithole. You're outside, but you don't feel like it. In Manhattan, 42nd Street, Bryant Park. On the B, D, F, and M. 7th Avenue. On the B, D, and E. 59th Street and Lexington Avenue on the 456 and R and W lines. 110th Street on the 6th, shithole. 145th in Harlem on the A, C, B, and D. In Queens, You got Briarwood, the E and the F, and Parson Boulevard on the F. And then Staten Island on the Staten Island Railroad, Clifton. New subways and buses estimating $2 billion. $2 billion. $1 billion in electric buses and related depot upgrades, i.e. some more flat screen TVs. Oh, did I say that? $1 billion to finance the purchase of up to 437 additional new subway cars for the letter lines. Enough for 43. A brand spanking a fleet of 43 new trains. And you wonder, well, why 43? Why they need to purchase more subway cars? Didn't they just have this massive purchase a couple years ago? With I forgot the terminology. I don't know if it's the R167 car, whatever. I don't know, because I'm never that deep into stuff. You want to know why? Because the majority, dare I say, all of those cars had to be taken off the road, out of service, due to the repeated brakes in emergency, causing delays up and down the system. So therefore, now they're just sitting there collecting rust. And this is where you want $15 per time per car into under 60th Street. This is where this congestion pricing money is going to go, at the tune of $1 billion a year. It's going to go into the hands of a company. Because remember, what people fail to realize is that the Metropolitan Transportation Authority is not a public service. It is not a social service. It's a business. This is not something that's mandated by the government, like, okay, you have to make sure XYZ. You have to make sure that people get to where they want to go. No, it's a fucking business. Same thing like Uber, same thing like Lyft. These are businesses that deal with transportation, for-profit businesses. But yet, the only thing is, it's so intermingled, it's so entangled, an entanglement, if you will, that so entangled with the day going on in the city, with tax money here and regulations here, that people think that that's an entitlement. No, it's not an entitlement. Guess what's entitled? You got 2 feet and you can walk. Or how about this? Matter of fact, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and this actually has nothing to do with congestion pricing, but it does. Remember years ago when they started having a city bike, and people wanted to know, first it was a little cute thing, like, well, that's good, get people more active. It was part of Bloomberg's initiative to get people more active, right? Guess what? That was part one of the plan. You implement the city bike program. That's getting people to use bikes. And guess what? If you have more bikes on the road, guess what? You have to make room on the road for the bikes. So that gave them the reasoning to make bike lanes. Now, if you have people doing bike lanes, and you have people more and more, and you're making it so inconvenient for people to drive, then you're forcing people to use the bike. And guess where that money goes to, or some of that money goes to? It goes to public transportation. So if you make it inconvenient for people to drive, you're forcing people to get to where they need to go without their car, either on bikes, city bikes, which the money goes to public transportation, or public transportation itself. You see how everything goes 360 degrees in rotation? It's a beautiful thing. People think that people are paranoid when they talk about the Matrix, when they talk about how things aren't what they seem. No, they're exactly what they say. Everything is connected. Everything is intertwined. It's ridiculous. I would have been remiss in this lull of whatever the hell is going on in the sports world, because at this point in time, I really don't care that I don't use this platform to do what some things that I told myself I would do with this platform. And that speak my mind on pertinent things. Yes, at certain time, I mean, for the majority of the time, yeah, I talk about sports. Sports is not that serious, but I talk about sports because that's what I feel like talking about. But then there's certain times that when it comes to shit that affects me, when it affects you on your day to day, I'll be damned if I don't talk about it. That's why it's called the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. Because Mike Steph has salty thoughts that need to be spewed. And guess what? The blue collar hero to the widows and the masses is just the one to do it. This past week, as I said in the introduction, the intro, that I was watching this new, well, not new anymore, but this recent miniseries, miniseries on Griselda Blanco on Netflix called Griselda. It's starring Sofia Vergara, famous for Modern Family. And I was watching this. Now, I am a frequent watcher, a frequent viewer of the Bomani Jones vehicle, The Right Time with Bomani Jones, especially Foxworth Fridays. And a couple of weeks ago, they was talking about the Griselda Netflix show. And they was like, yeah, I mean, it was what it was. But if you went in there thinking it was going to be like Bang Bang or more like a Casino, Goodfellas, Sopran, I don't know. It's not what, if you watched the documentary Cocaine Cowboys and thought it was going to be in that vein, no, it's more like a soap opera. It's more like I wouldn't say a sitcom, but it's more like a soap opera. It comes from the makers of Narcos. Narcos Mexico, and it's in that vein. You have a little humor here. It plays light and fast with the factoids, because of course it's meant for entertainment purposes. But one of the things that I didn't, I heard before I start watching it's six episodes, and they go by very quickly. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, darn, how are they going to tell her whole life story in 6 episodes? I mean, don't you think this should be like at least a full series, like a full season, 12? No, 6 episodes. It starts out with Griselda leaving Colombia, Medellin, after getting grazed by a bullet, and she uses a maxi pad with 2 band-aids to bandage the wound. And I'm starting laughing. I'm like, wow, they on some bullshit quick, right? So it started out like that. And then she comes to the country first of all, she calls a former friend, calls a friend of hers, associate of hers that's already in Miami. And she's like, look, bitch, girl, I gotta go. I gotta get away from my husband. I gotta get out the country. And she leaves with her 3 kids, goes to Miami, stays in the room, and she's already plotting. Like, yo, like, because the girlfriend, she pretty much let it be known from the door, like, yo, Carmen let it be known for the door, like, yo, are you serious? Because like I got a real estate business going on. I got out the life. Cause pretty much Carmen's man and Griselda's husband, they was trafficking that Medellin. Carmen's like, look, I'm running a legit business, but you could tell from the jump, Griselda was on some bullshit. Like, yo, how I'm gonna set up shop here. Now, what she witnessed, matter of fact, what she encountered was same thing that's going on in the real world to a certain degree. But what she encountered was no matter how pure her cocaina is, she's a female, she's a woman. So time and time and time again, in the very beginning, she's getting effed over by her male compadres. Her, you know, any of her connections was trying to f her over, being the fact, oh, you need to be a housewife, you need to be in the kitchen, you need to be home with the kids. Yo, leave the cocaine stuff to us, leave the hustling stuff to us, leave the business stuff to us. And Griselda's like, nah, I'm going to do, like, I was the brains behind my husband back at home. Look, this is pure. You know, which girl I could get more. And she started a little smuggling business. She called her friend. She called one of the hoes back in the days, Carla. Called them to gather up some harlots to start smuggling that China white in their bras from Colombia to Miami. And then she was trying to put up a network. She got her late husband, who she got killed, her late husband's accountant to start setting up shop. Then she started using Carmen to pretty much not even launder the money through him, but to you, because since Carmen had a real estate, well, not a real estate business, the traveling business, traveling sales business, she's going to use Carmen's corporation to get the tickets to get the women to go back and forth with the coke. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it was an entertaining watch. But the best part of the series, this is Sofia Vergara as Griselda. Now, word is Griselda's family felt that she was the wrong person to play Griselda because she didn't match the beauty of Griselda. That is Sophia to your left, and that is the real life Griselda Blanco to the right. You mean to tell me y'all don't think that was an upgrade? I mean, I'm sorry, you got upgraded twice. Look at her pie face. Look, I know this was after she done did some hard time. But if somebody chose, who could I see? Like if I ever had the life story told in cinematic form of Mike Steph, who would I want to play me? Now there's one individual out here that said, one of our trusty listeners of Hidden Gems Football said that I reminded them, or I resembled Greg Nice, Greg NICE, dame un beso, we rock for a fee, not for free. Baby, I do it for charity, or my employer, or my employee, making Greg NICE, Greg NICE, very MAD, to ever make up hurting me. Yeah, I just went on a, yeah, because, I mean, Greg Nice. Greg Nice! Greg Nice, I met this dame. I like the style. She feels the same. Is she gaming? Merely claiming to be my girl. Change my world. I don't want to be uptight. I don't want to fuss. I don't want to fight. She's obsessive to possessive. I wish I knew this girl's objective. Greg Nice was nice. Hence the name Greg Nice. But if I had a choice, first of all, I didn't know where the resemblance came from. Actually, I did in my fatter face days. But if I had a choice, you think I wanted Greg Nice to play me in a cinematic film? I want to go with my old trusty Denzel. Because I could see Denzel mimicking my mannerisms, mimicking my speech pattern, mimicking my manic energy, and mimicking my debonair, dare I say, dashing looks, dare I say,
Sexual seduction.
or this is another actor that somebody said years ago, not so much that I looked like, but that my voice resembled. And it's been 20 some odd years ago, so I don't know how true or false that was. Tell you the truth, I felt offended when I realized who the hell they were talking about. They were talking about dude from The Best Man. Dude, oh, damn. I'm sorry, but I gotta pull this up real quick. Dude that married the stripper. I don't know why am I blanking on his name. But I'll just show you right now, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Augustus Hill from Oz, for all my old school dudes. They said I look like him. Well, I sounded like him. No, not Terrence Howard. Not Maine. What's up, Maine? I'm sorry, Maine. No, they say I sounded like Harold Prienenu or whatever the hell his name is. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. But to get back on track, I think the Blanco family. Matter of fact, let me not talk too much shit because they still out there. I think Michael Corleone Blanco is still out here. And listen, I ain't trying to have no problem with the cartel. I'm not trying to have no problem with the Medellin cartel. Shoot, I'm a blue collar hero to the widows and the masses. The best part of the series, yeah, that's exactly what you think it is. That's Griselda Blanco beaming up to Scotty. That's Griselda Blanco taking that hit of that rock. That was Griselda Blanco smoking that crack. I think it's either episode 5 or episode 6. I think it's episode 5 because it's the penultimate episode, as they say in the writing world. That they're having this, Griselda's having this birthday party for her husband and the father of her youngest child. Her husband, Dario, who was her bodyguard, started as a bodyguard of her husband's brother, who sent Dario to the States to kill Griselda once he realized that Griselda murked his brother. And Griselda, put that thing on him and became his wife. He became her husband. He became her protector in more ways than one. So they have this big elaborate party at Casa de Blanco, right? And matter of fact, I think it was the sister of the cartel of the I forgot the name, but pretty much the cartel where they were getting their coke from. The sister of the head of the cartel was cool with Griselda, and they was hanging out. And the sister, she was wild. I think it was Marla. I think her name was Marla or Martha. And she introduced Griselda to the pipe. Now, Griselda was sniffing. Okay, fine. pretty much the whole party was sniffing. The whole mansion was sniffing. But she said, yo, because Griselda, she was starting getting paranoid because she thought there was a leak in the organization because a couple stash houses kept on getting hit. And she's like, there got to be a leak. I don't know. You know, what you call it? Maybe Carmen is the leak. Maybe Cucho is the leak. Maybe there's got to be a leak. I don't. And Dario's like, yo, there's no leak. Maybe they just got enough intel that they've we got to change up the pattern. No. There's got to be a leak. Even Reeve, who ended up being her bodyguard at the end, who on the low wanted to push Griselda shit in. He was even telling like, yo, Griselda, yo, maybe, you know, there's no leak. And it reminded me of Scarface. Remember when Tony was getting too coked up and he was getting, I'm paranoid. You know, paranoid? Yeah, that's what I said, paranoid. And remember, he was looking at Manolo, and he's looking like, yo, maybe Manola, maybe if you were doing your fucking job, I wouldn't have to worry about putting all this surveillance up in Casa de Scarface, Casa de Montana. So it seemed like they borrowed off of that, but instead of using coke, they use crack. So Marta, whatever the hell her name is, was like, yo, you know, this is your husband's birthday party. You know, take a load off. Yo, which one? Yo, here, try to pipe. And Griselda took one pull off the pipe, and she was a pipe. Yeah, head crack. When I say she took one pull, and it seemed like for the next 20 minutes, every 5 minutes, you saw her pulling that pipe out. And my thing is like, how many rocks did she have? Like, they showed her get the pipe from her homegirl, right? Her homegirl gives her the pipe. Her homegirl didn't give her no cracks. Her homegirl didn't give her no rocks. Like, how many rocks was in that pipe? Because every 5 minutes, Griselda like, one of the sons came in there on a coked up binge. Somebody was looking at his girl, and Griselda was like, yo, calm down. And she's like, I can't deal with this. She went over the corner, Carmen, before she left. Now, mind you, she didn't do it in front of Carmen, but Carmen was peeping everything. Carmen, before she left, was like, all right, mama, yo, which God, I'll see you tomorrow. You know, which God, get some rest. You know, I got an early day tomorrow. Yo, be easy on that pipe. Griselda looked at her like, what you say to me? What you say to me, mommy? Even Marta was like, yo, tell her to mind her fucking business. Yo, wait. She's spying on you? Yo, what her problem is? Griselda went over in the corner. So there was one dude, I don't know, let's say just call him Johnny. I forgot his last name, but Johnny. Johnny was saying some slick shit. So Griselda always walking around, eyes bugging out like she on one. This was right after the incident with one of her sons. So he said something slick about, yo, her family, her family got a lot of bullshit going on. Like her family got a lot of, like her family fucked up. Look at her son. Griselda said, what you say? Nah, nothing, Lorena, nothing. You know, Madrena, nothing. She said, you know, fuck that. She had bought her hubby a solid gold machine gun. She went over to where that machine gun was at. She told this motherfucker, strip. Take it off. Take everything off. Take everything off. Get on your fucking knees. Bark like a dog. Did I tell you to stop? Did I tell you to stop? Dario came over like, yo, I can't deal with this. Yo, calm down. What you talking about? Carla came back. No, matter of fact, not Carla. Carmen came back. So Griselda on one. Told everybody, get the fuck out. Party over. She was a real one. Because she saw that she told Griselda before she left, chill on the pipe. You know what it does. You know what it can do. She came back, she saw the aftermath, like, oh, Griselda been on a crack binge. Yo, everybody get out before she kill all y'all. And come to find out, I think she cursed Carmen out, called her a snitch after Carmen came back to give her intel, like, yo, they after you. Yo, they know about this and they know about this. Yo, they wanted me to which guard? They wanted me to flip. I'm not gonna flip. And she told Carmen, get the fuck up out of here. Carmen's like, you know what? All right, fuck you. You think I'm a snitch? Now I'm a snitch because you didn't threaten my life. And it ended. The ending was so. But like I said, that's my thoughts. Like I said, I didn't say it was recap. That's what I said. Netflix Griselda thoughts. This ain't review. Didn't say recap. You want a recap? Watch it. On a scale of 1 to 5 salt shakers, I give Griselda 4 salt shakers. I would say 3.5, but I'm giving it an extra half a salt shaker because it gave me some content on this dry ass week of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. So I give it 4 salt shakers on a scale of 5. Netflix, check it out.
I went the route of making sure I had a hamburger. So tell me about you guys. What you doing these days?
Why don't you share about your passion of sports?
I'm playing AAU basketball right now.
Are you really? Are you guard?
Yes, sir.
Now, what grade are you in?
7th grade.
7th grade.
Right now I'm just doing basketball, playing guard on the JV team for my school.
How about in school? How y'all doing in school? You should tell the president about the school.
Favorite thing about it is the business academy I'm in. You get to travel, so we've been to NC State, Wake Tech, and
You're kidding me.
we went to this small dry cleaning business, and it's cool. It's a great experience.
I'm impressed. Is that a new program at the school?
Yes, sir, it is. It just started just a couple of years ago.
So what got you interested in teaching? Administration?
I know this has probably been talked about on other platforms. It's probably been talked about on social media. It came to my attention a couple days ago in between this recording and last week's. And I had to watch the video in full so I can get the full context. I didn't want to see just a clip. I didn't want to just read a post and a screenshot. I'm going for the jokes. In an election year, where once again we have 2 candidates that neither a lot of people want to be like Bruce Millions and none of the above. If you're running for re-election and one of the dark spots in your resume is a crime bill that specifically targeted African-American people in the 80s and 90s. And another dark spot on your resume is in the lead up of last election where he goes on the Breakfast Club, and this is what I'm talking about, President Biden, goes on the Breakfast Club and tells Charlemagne the God, or Leonard, that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I think that resonates. Those 2 things resonate more, even though they've probably been beat in the ground. Those 2 instances resonate right now when it comes to this clip, because it plays into the stereotype that, number one, You're just using. You'll do anything for the black vote, or you take us for granted. And to the stereotype of, especially in the South, because this family, this upstanding family, from what I saw, resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. Actually, the same city of North Carolina that my cousin Ooh resides in. What up, cousin Ooh? Holla at you soon. That we like chicken. That all you have to do is bring us some chicken and French fries from Cookout, and you'll have a captive audience. Now, I can't attest to the greatness of Cookout because I've been there once in the drive-thru. My wife loves herself some Cookout. She loves their shakes. She got a strawberry, I think a strawberry something, was it strawberry cheesecake milkshake, which almost had disaster because they didn't let her know that there's nuts in that. And my wife has a tree nut allergy. But she loves Cookout. So when we pass this, she's like, I can't be down here and not get no Cookout. And guess best believe when I go down to North Kakalaka in June, I'm gonna get me some Cookout because why not? But it leads to the stereotype that all you gotta do is put some fried chicken in front of us and you got a captive audience. Shoot. For all that, he should have brought out the shoes with taps on and said, hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my sons are around. Just saying. The only thing missing with some watermelon, only thing missing with some red colored liquid, some red colored Kool-Aid. Only thing missing was him taking out a pack of Newports. Listen, I say that, and I say that with jokes. Like I said, I'm gonna crack jokes. I'm not even gonna. This is not even a segment. This is just something that I almost forgot about. In this election year of 2024, we have Mr. Orange running for his second term, and we have Mr. Braindead running for re-election. A lot of things in the last 4 years can be parsed and picked upon. A lot of things in the last 4 years you can look at as an improvement. Not much, but as an improvement. I say this as a registered independent. So I can give less than a fuck about the Republicans. I can give less than a fuck about the Democrats. If you need those swing voters that, and I don't consider myself a swing voter because I'm damn sure not voting for Trump. Speaking of which, y'all need to get on Fat Joe's ass for buying those Trump 1000s, those Air Trumps, and talk about, well, I'm a sneaker collector. That mother effer should never, the next time nigga comes out his mouth, he should have a fist going in his mouth. But I digress. Being the fact that you have a segment of voters that are still undecided, a segment of Black America that's saying, you know what, y'all take us for granted too much. Just to show y'all, stop fucking with us, we'll vote for this guy. Do I agree with it? No, I agree with it on the premise. I just don't agree the person that they might be voting for. You cannot afford slip-ups like this if you're President Biden at all. That's the reason I brought this to, that's the reason why I had to speak on this, because we're already in March. This Tuesday is what they call Super Tuesday, where I think about 10 to 15 states are having primaries. Yeah, we're already in primary season. We're 3 months into primary season. You wouldn't know about looking on social media, looking at the airwaves. You wouldn't know that we're actually in primary season. We're in an election year. Because this has been the quietest election, because it's like it's already a foregone conclusion that when it comes to November, we're going to have a rematch of Mr. Orange and Mr. Braindead. Which way are you going to choose? Which way are you going to go? I don't know. As I plug in my laptop, because I realized it needed some power. Which way are they going to go? But we just need to be in tune with what's going on. And like I did 4 years ago, I am going to be in tune with what's going on. And it was kind of easier when I had an audio only format, because I could just random thoughts. I'll just pull out the phone and just record. But look, I'm not going to be silent this election year. I'm not. Because nobody can afford to be silent this election year at all. But stuff like that is very disconcerting to me. Like, I'm glad that the family, especially the sons, were able to meet the president of the United States. I'm glad that the father was able to show America, like, look, whatever your preconceived notion is, I'm proof positive that I can dispel that preconceived notion. I'm an educator. I got 2 well-mannered, educated young black boys that's going to grow up to be black men, and asking pertinent questions, and giving a good accounting of themselves. To me, the one that looks bad here is President Biden, in my humble opinion. You know, I figured I was going to give y'all another segment of the vastly popular segment of "Whoa! It's only smoke and mirrors. Whoa! It's only smoke and mirrors tonight." My daughter's actually sitting to the right of me, and she's looking at me like, "Dad, you're a fool." Oh, well, she already knows. She got 23 years on this earth. She already knows what kind of fool her daddy is. But I intended on having this segment with a nice, fresh cut. I was intending on coming here because let's listen. The little thing that goes on with me and my daughter, the lovely Mia, come and say hi. Just come over. Come over, Rastafarian.
Why are you leaning like that? Hi.
So, my daughter, what happened? Okay. My daughter, her joke to me when I go to the barbershop, because she knows. Matter of fact, I'll give y'all a little hint. See, look. Look, you hear her in the background laughing, right? Some bullshit. And this is my daughter. And this is supposed to be daddy's little girl. Guess what? She's still daddy's little girl. But anyway, what she does to me is I tell her, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the barbershop. For what? What do you mean for what? Going to get a haircut. You mean you want to get a shave? I'm like, no, I'm going to get a haircut. And she's like, haircut? What hair are you cutting? Some bullshit, right? So today, I'm going to combine this with my story with me and Main Event K today. So today in the city, it's about 65 degrees. It was a nice day. And Main Event K asked me last night, as my daughter's looking at herself on FaceTime, like, is my hair right? My hair did. You're so lucky I'm recording, because I'm not going to say what I said before about. So keep playing with me. So so main event K comes to me last night, and she's like, Dad. I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you going outside tomorrow? I'm like, yeah. She's like, no, are you going out? Like, are you going out tomorrow? I'm like, maybe. Why? She's like, cause it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. I'm like, okay, and she's like, I want to go outside. I'm like, sure, you have age, you can go outside. She's like, no. I was like, is there any particular place you want to go? She said, no. She just wants to go. I just want to go out because it's gonna be nice. I don't want to be in the house. Okay, fine. Now this is bagel place in Park Slope called Brooklyn Bread, right? And the bagels are phenomenal. They make their bagels in-house, great. There's two bagels I eat. I either eat the French toast bagel, which is a bagel with cinnamon and powdered sugar on top, which is fattening, but it's good. Sometimes you can just eat it with just butter, toasted with butter, great. Or I have a concoction of a garlic bagel toasted with butter with bread and butter pickles. I know it sounds interesting, but trust and believe it's scrumptious. But yeah, but then they also have these cookies, these deluxe cookies with it's cookies with cookie dough inside. So part of me is wondering, like, did y'all just make these cookies and just make sure that the inside is not cooked? I don't know. But she likes the cookies. So she's like, can we go to the bagel place? I'm like, you want bagels? She's like, no, I want cookies. I'm like, you know what? Fine. It's pretty much like a block away from Prospect Park, from the west side of Prospect Park. I'm like, you know what? It's good. It's all good. It'll get myself out. It's something I've been wanting to do myself anyway for the last couple Sundays. Fine. Part of my self-care. Right? So, get up this afternoon, get up this morning, had to take care of something. Matter of fact, I had to do a session. Then me and Mrs. Ooh, we went to the meat market, got some meat for the house, and then came back, and it's time for main event K and her pops, right? So we go. But before this, I'm like, darn. It's time for me to get a haircut. Maybe I killed two birds with one stone. Maybe I could go get a haircut because it's Sunday. It's not that crowded. Go get a haircut, and then we can make our voyage to the bagel shop. Or I could just see if my barber's in there, my Dominican barber of choice. It's in there, and I could tell him, like, yo, how long you gonna be here for a certain time? All right, look, I'm gonna run over here, and when I finish, I'll come back, cut my hair. As luck would have it, my Dominican barber of choice is on vacation. Like, how dare he? Does he not know that on every other Sunday or every other Monday, the dashing one has an appointment? Not really an appointment, but a dashing one has an appointment in his head that I'm going to be in that chair and get myself nice and pristine for the upcoming week. See, what threw everything off was I made sure I got a haircut for my 25th anniversary. Last weekend, before I finished my 11 days of relaxation, I was going to get a haircut. I was like, kind of throws off the routine. It's supposed to be every 2 weeks. You know what? Plus, my beard would be impeccable with an extra week of growth. When I get it shaved, trimmed, lined up, it'd be perfect. So imagine the horror that I had when I went to the barbershop and I looked in the mirror and I saw on his mirror, hey, my friends, I'm on vacation. I will be back Tuesday, March 5th. Tuesday is the day I go back to work. So now I got a dilemma on my hands. Do I get up early in the morning and go to my Dominican barber of choice and get my haircut? Or do I wait until next week when I know he's home, he's back for sure to get my haircut? Or do I do the most dastardly thing you could do in a barbershop is go to the barbershop and your barber of choice is not there and you mess with the op. Now, there's a problem when you come back that second time, especially if the op gives you a better cut than your Dominican barber choice. Now, both of them looking, you got your regular looking like, hey, Papi, what's going on? And then you got the other dude like, yo, I'll lace you. I was just a stand-in. I did that before. I've done that numerous times because, look, when it comes to barbers, I'm not a loyal mother effer. Look, free cheer will travel, especially if you know how to cut my shit. Anyway, and I'm looking at the time like I did not expect this to be this long, but whatever. I said, you know what? I'm going to choose to wait until Giovanni comes back from vacation. Okay. Now, the other part is this bagel spot is in Park Slope. Now, it was like I said, it was like 65-degree day. We've had so much rain and dreariness, and I mean, shoot, 2 weeks ago it was snow on the ground. So I get it. But there's one thing that a certain part of the population loves to do as soon as it gets a little bit warm. It's like they like to strip. Yay! I could walk my dog. Yay! I could take my jacket off. Yay! I could wear shorts. It's freaking March 3rd. I'm sorry. Just 2 days ago, it was 35 degrees. Tomorrow, we have a high of 49. The middle of March, you start bringing layers off. Like my winter jacket probably will not go on for the rest of the year until fall again. Fine. So I took a layer off. Probably by the end of this month, I will put my winter jackets in. And if anything, if it's chilly, I'll lay it up. I'll have a hoodie and I'll have a spring jacket. I'll have a hoodie. I'll have a jean jacket. I'll have a hoodie. And maybe even a vest. No, probably too late for the vest. But that's what I'll do. So we go there and I'm like, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to get my steps in. So we park the car, which is shocking in Park Slope, especially on a Sunday, especially on a warm Sunday. But I got to park. Got to park on 11th between Park Avenue West and 8th Avenue. The place we're going is on 7th Avenue and 10th Street. So we walk, we get there. The missus wanted something that was a little further down, so we have to walk to like 4th Avenue and 9th Street. Okay, no problem. Walk over there, and they're out and about. People are out and about. But this is the first time, to my recollection, because a lot of times I just started this walking phenomenon a couple months ago. I'm used to being, have Carville travel. Oh, it's only 3 blocks from where I just parked. Guess what? I'm going to get back in the car. And we're going to drive over there. Or I'm going to go to the drive-thru. I was like, you know what? It's a nice day. Let's walk. So we walked. My daughters used to be in driven, or my daughters used to be with people in walking, but she doesn't really, it's still a new phenomenon for her, right? So we're walking through Park Slope. It's not that many of us around. And the thing is, I've known this because I'm 47 years old, that unfortunately, a large majority of people, especially in that neighborhood, especially when you're of a certain economical stature, you have tunnel vision. Everybody else is invisible to you. So there could be this long stretch of road, this width, and you're saying, you know what? I'm walking this way. It's on you to walk around. I'm not a confrontational person. So a lot of times I don't want to just brush somebody or brush past somebody. I'm just like, listen. But after a while, it does get aggravating. My daughter was making a point when she would see people come, she would make a point that, all right, they're coming, I'm going around. To the point that I had to tell her, okay, stop moving. You're not being rude. But just like you see them coming towards you, they see you coming toward them. I'm not saying bump anybody, give them the shoulder, but being the fact that you're a young, you're a young lady right now, being the fact that you're a young lady of color, a black young lady, you have to be seen. You have to make sure you're seen. Do you agree? Matter of fact, come here real quick. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you real quick, but I want your opinion. Come. You don't have to be on camera just so they can hear you better. Okay. Have you ever been in the area? Because you're familiar with what I'm talking about, right? You go to certain areas, and especially like let's say touristy areas or the city. Well, I got something on my glasses. Right, Gray. Okay, thank you. Thank goodness I wasn't close up. So, but you go into areas, and let's say you're walking. Let's say you're walking by yourself, or let's say you're walking with one person, and people walking towards you, and they're pretty much not making no type of way to move, or like just so y'all won't walk into each other. Don't you find that a little annoying? Yeah. What do you do? No. just which one? Just be honest.
Well, I don't move. Now I don't move. I just let them bump into me and give them the craziest look ever. Because I'm not.
Because you need to be seen.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially, I don't know why you keep saying it, but a lot of white people, they like thinking that you're like a glass wall or something, or you're just invisible, or like there's a sense of entitlement with them. That's a better word. That just like you're in my life, you gotta move, you know. Stuff like that. I used to move and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," but mommy was the one that was like, "No, don't move for them. They need to learn how to say excuse me, or they need to learn how to move around. You can't always do that."
It has to go both ways. Like I said, I wasn't teaching her like, yo, just going in, giving a little check, shoulder check. But
obviously, sometimes you gotta do.
Some
because they try you, even when you don't move, they try you, and they kind of like. Story time.
Story time with Mia.
So I was downtown. I think this is when mommy sent me to go pick. It was around Christmas time. She sent me downtown to go pick up a few packages, and I was crossing the street to get to Atlantic Mall, and there was this white lady. Like I was about to hit the curb and or the sidewalk. There's a white lady. She saw me. She saw the direction that I was going in, and she literally kept going. Stopped right in front of me, and expected me to move. And I tried to push past her. She pushed me back. And in that moment, I realized, all right, they really do. Like at first, I'm like, maybe I'm a little delusional. They don't feel that entitled. But in that moment, I was like, oh, okay, this is how we doing it. I'm glad I didn't move around and apologize like I used to. Because that lady really deserved to have an ass. I'm sorry. She really deserved to, like, really push me back. I'm sorry. Was that
No, yeah, that's I just, like I said, I just want your opinion, you know, because this is something that which I had to teach your sister today. It was an experience for her, you know. And like I said, these are lessons that we need to pass down to our children in a respectful way. Not saying just respectful as in mankind. This is stuff that you need to. This is what you call parenting, not just hanging out with your kids. You know, so that was my little story today. That was actually the lovely Mia story, which I greatly enjoyed. And yeah, so me and Main Event K had a outing, and even though this is entitled Smoke and Mirrors, your boy need a cut. Well, your boy need a shave. So I'm gonna have to get out of this segment by whoa! It's only Smoke and Mirrors. Whoa! It's only Smoke and Mirrors tonight. And that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Actually, a marathon edition compared to what I was going to give y'all. I did not know I was actually going to top last week's hour and 51-minute extravaganza, because it looks like I'm doing that right as we speak. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me and this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. We are currently on the road to 200, and concurrently, we are on the road to number 50. And those numbers are the amount of episodes that Mike Steph has produced. 200 episodes of Salty Thoughts format and 50 episodes of the reimagined YouTube extravaganza known as the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Yeah, that dude Donnie, who's that? Yeah, he done. The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast is available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. New episodes drop each and every Wednesday in the audio form. You can check me out on the social medias at Mike Stephens _ on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Mike _ Steph on the gram, Instagram that is, and at Mike Steph on TikTok. I would say Facebook, but I don't really deal with Facebook. But if y'all want to check me out on Facebook, check out the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph page on Facebook. I don't post shit on there, but you know, if you see the logo, yeah, that's me. Yeah. Before I get out of here, I'd like to give a big shout out to two people in particular. One, my partner, the Mojo King. My partner on Hidden Gems Football, the Mojo King. Check out his podcast detailing everything you need to know in fantasy golf, Hidden Gems Golf. Also available on all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. New podcasts drop each and every Wednesday. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, the whole nine. Pretty much all streaming platforms and podcasts are available. Last but definitely not least, I'd like to give a shout out to my brothers from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell, or Winchester and McDowell. Gimmick Infringement. The brothers drop each and every week, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. I wonder. No, trust me, they've been doing it first. But each and every week, they give a detailed recap in that past week's happenings in the world of professional wrestling. But they're not just a wrestling podcast. They are a lifestyle podcast. They're a podcast that you need to view and you need to listen to. Winchester and McDowell, part of the 19 Media Group. No, I haven't done that in a while. The reason, even more reason why I have to shout them out, because they have a 4-part series on the man known as Sting, who retired today. Actually, after I finish recording, I'm going to check out all the happenings of what happened on AEW Revolution. Did I order that shit? Hell no. Wasn't ordering that shit. Even though I am a Sting fan, I remember when Sting first graced my TV screen when he was part of the UWF, formerly Mid-South, and I knew a star was born. And of course, that 45-minute extravaganza at the first Clash of Champions against Nature Boy Ric Flair on TBS. Yeah, he's calling it a career. So salute Sting. But check out Gimmick and Friends, because they have a 4-part series with their guest, Rob Wilkins from Fightful, going through all the different eras of the Stinger. The man called Sting. Man called Sting. Man called Sting. Yeah. And, of course, check out their weekly episodes, which they will give a Rose from Tyler. They will give Trap Tales. Maybe they'll have a promo of the week. The whole nine. But definitely, last but not least, matter of fact, I'm not even going to put that graphic up here, because if y'all missed it, fast forward to the very beginning, there's a different graphic. There's some big things popping, big things happening, big things on the horizon when it comes to the view that you see on your screen when I, besides this debonair face of mine, where I grace your screen, and those changes, as long as all the graphics on here are courtesy of Mr. Brad Winchester, the genius behind the logo of the Salty Daughter Mike Steph, the genius behind a lot of the technology involved of the 19 Media Group, and just who I like to call friend. So shout out to Brad. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate your kind words. I appreciate the friendship that we've garnered over the last 2.5 years. And it was no bullshit what I wrote. One of these days / years, me and the fam are coming out to Arizona so we could chop it up with you and Mr. McDowell in person and have a grand old time. Hopefully, hopefully it'll be one of those days that it's not 110 degrees, and hopefully it'll be one of those days that's not 110 degrees in the morning and 20 degrees at night. Maybe there's a nice sweet spot that we can come up with, regardless. So with all that being said, I'm getting out of here because damn, this I took it back old school. 2 hours of me running my mouth. Woo! Stitch, you got anything to say? What you say? Oh, really? Oh, you said so. I neglected you. Wow. Stitch was giving me an earful. He said, yo, you wait until a minute 59, a minute 56, an hour 56 minutes into your podcast to acknowledge me. I've been playing the background this whole episode, and you're going to choose now to acknowledge me? You forget how things go. I don't acknowledge you. You acknowledge me. And so should y'all. So with all that being said, I'm getting out of here. Until next week. Goodbye. Acknowledge me.